What's up, yogi? Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. My name is Anna. I am a yoga and bar instructor as well as an occupational therapy student. For today's class, we will be doing restorative yoga for the new year. So if you're watching this video, it is the end of 2020. Cue the anxiety. A year that was truly undescribable, and a year that brought tremendous hardship and tremendous stress for every single one of us. So I figured it could be a really nice way to engage in a practice like restorative yoga to end the year on a more peaceful note. Restorative yoga is a practice where we use a lot of props and where we completely let go and let the props just really support our body weight. It elicits benefits for both the body and the mind because the mind gets to find some stillness while the body also gets to experience a deep relaxation response. For today's practice, we're going to use a lot of props, so I will be using a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a couple pillows, like 2 pillows stacked on top of each other. Like this, like a bed pillow. Get cozy. So if you're not using a bolster, you're going to be using 2 pillows and an additional pillow that will help cushion your head. You will also need a blanket, 2 blocks. You can also use books instead. And then we'll be doing legs up against the wall pose, so you will need some access to a wall space. Once you have all of your props and you hit that like and subscribe button, I will meet you on your mat.
Hey everybody. Once you have your props, we'll start in a seated meditation, so you can go ahead, sit on any of your props. Feel free to ground the hands on your thighs. Maybe you gently clasp the hands in the lap. And then let's start to settle in. Option to close the eyes here or find a gaze over the tip of the nose. Beginning to sense your body, your hips anchoring down, shoulders stacking over hips and crown of head open towards the sky. We will begin to drop even more into the present moment, deepening your breath. Find an easy inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh your air out. 2 more times, inhale, filling up. Open mouth, exhale. 1 more, breathing in, filling belly, ribs, and chest. Open mouth, exhale, emptying chest, ribs, and belly. Seal your lips. Cultivate an even breath in and out through the nose. Let's take a moment now to reflect in equanimity on the experiences of this past year. What was challenging, what was triumphant, the valleys and the peaks. Call to mind something that was difficult for you to experience this year. Not necessarily a trauma, but something challenging for you. Taking a moment to honor that experience and send compassion towards your experience. And taking a moment as well to reflect on something positive from this year, perhaps a guiding light for you this past year, whether that was a personal value, a positive relationship, or a happy memory formed this year. And extending gratitude towards that experience. Making space within ourselves to hold both the dark and the light. As you're ready, guide your hands to your heart, and we will call in our intention for your New Year's practice. Now I invite you to jump ahead in your mind's eye to the end of this next year. And if you were to look back on the year that had transpired, name a value that served as a guiding light for you, that informed how you lived your life, whether that was with kindness, with integrity, compassion, something personal, something important to you, and naming that quality as your intention. We will seal all of our intentions together with a breath, breathing in and breathing out. As you're ready, blink your eyes to open and let's get started with our physical practice. All right, so the first pose that we will prepare for is Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound ankle pose. So you're going to need your bolster and 2 blocks, right? And if you don't have the bolster, get 2 firm pillows and stack them on top of each other. So the bolster will go to the front of your mat, facing vertical. Just close my door there. And you'll bring the bolster like right to the back of your hips. You're going to feel that on like your sacrum and tailbone. And then as you start to bring the soles of the feet together, opening the knees, the blocks will go underneath the knees and thighs. And you can see there's different levels, different heights that you can set the blocks up on. And as you start to lay back onto the bolster, you might need a couple wiggles here to get comfortable. You want to feel your low back pretty supported here, so it can be helpful to make sure your prop is making contact with the back of your hips and tailbone area. So once you find that sweet spot of release, settle in with a breath, fully inhaling, fully exhaling. And I invite you now to really begin letting your body weight sink down, letting the props support you as you start to engage in this process of completely letting go. Allow your eyelids to close if that's comfortable for you, otherwise finding a soft focus in the eyes, and I will call you out when it is time. Gently begin to stir movement back into the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers, the toes, rolling some circles with your wrists. And then as you're ready, you can use the hands to help prop the knees back upright, feet flat on the floor. Gently rolling through to one side. Give yourself a moment to pause before pressing into a comfortable seat. We'll bring a little bit of movement back into the body. So you can go ahead, send the legs in front of you, maybe give the legs a quick little jiggle, little shake, and we will get set up for our next pose. We are doing restorative child's pose. So pumped. You're going to need your blocks and your bolster or stack of pillows. And then we are going to use the blanket for this as well. You don't need to use the blanket. I do prefer using the blanket here as an extra cushion. So you can just undo it one roll. It's there to help you cushion your shins and your knees. So then as you're ready, you can go ahead kneeling on the blanket, sitting on your heels with your toes together, your knees apart. And then guide your bolster or pillow stack in between the thigh bones. And then you're going to prop it up on an angle. So I'm using my 2 blocks on the lowest level underneath the bolster. And you see there's that incline there. And then as you're ready, taking an inhale to prepare to sit up tall. And as you exhale, you're really going to walk your torso out long over the bolster. You can kind of give it a hug underneath with your arms, resting one cheek on the bolster. And getting settled in here with an inhale and easy exhale. Allow the belly to soften, the shoulders to release their burdens, sinking your weight onto your props. And I will let you know when it is time to turn to the other cheek. in your own time, keeping the body as relaxed as possible. Gently turning your head, bring your other cheek down to rest on the bolster. And notice where you can release a little more, where you can soften further, cultivating more ease. As you are ready, slowly taking an easy breath in and out to come out of the pose. Slowly unwind your arms, bringing your forearms on either side of the bolster. Let your forehead come back to center. Walking yourself onto your hands, taking a moment to pause here before coming all the way up to a seated position. So really letting yourself move with ease and move slowly. So take your time. Our knees were bent for a while, so let's bring the legs around in front of you. And again, just give the knees a little jog, a little jiggle, maybe turning the toes in and out a couple times. And then we will move on to our next pose, prone frog. So for this, we are going to use the pillow. So you can set your other props aside, just moving them off to the side. And then you're going to take your pillow, and I'm going to put it long ways, and it's going to be about halfway down your mat. And then go ahead, you can lay onto your stomach. So I'm doing my right leg first. So the pillow is going to be on the right side of my mat since I'm doing the right leg. And once I'm down on my stomach, propping myself on my forearms, bend your right knee and bring your knee around to the right until it's in line with your hip and your knee is over your ankle. So your knee is resting on the pillow. And then once you square your chest once again to the mat, take a second here to kind of wiggle a little bit side to side. you don't want to feel all of your weight on one hip. You want to feel a little bit of weight on the left and the right hip. And once you kind of feel that sweet spot, you can go ahead, let the left cheek rest on your hands like a pillow. Taking a breath in and out. Notice if you are doing any work here, whether that is holding on to tension, feeling some resistance, or whether you're trying to force something to happen. Right? No need to attach judgment or commentary if that's coming up for you. But with openness, with curiosity, just see if you can soften, releasing into your support, the pillow, the floor beneath you. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. To come out of the pose, you'll return your forehead to center, slowly propping yourself onto your elbows. Then slowly placing the elbows under the shoulders, guide the left knee underneath the hip, guiding the right knee underneath the hip, maybe taking a little sway from side to side. You can also tuck the right toes, sending the right leg back, pressing through your heel a couple times. Then we'll come back and change sides. So I'm going to turn myself around and keep the pillow on the same side on the mat. Again, lowering back down onto your stomach. And so this time, if you're doing the left leg, you'll bend your left knee, bring your knee around so it's in line with the hip and your knee can rest on the pillow. Also making sure the knee is over the ankle and the ankle is unsickled. And as you start to lower down, you can rest the right cheek on the hands, and it might take a couple kind of wiggles, a little bit of shift side to side. So you don't want to feel like all of your weight on your right hip. You want to feel some distribution of weight across your pelvis. Again, once you feel that sweet spot of release, breathing in here, Breathing out to fully start the process, melting into the floor and allowing yourself to become supported, allowing yourself to be held. So you're giving your body the gift of restoration, your spirit the gift of stillness. And then as you are ready to come out of the pose, bring your forehead back to center, slowly propping the elbows under the shoulders, slowly propping the hands under the shoulders as you press into a tabletop. Right knee slides in, left knee slides in. And again, find a little bit of movement here, swaying the hips. Tuck the left toes. As you straighten the left leg, you can press back through the heel. Then coming back through tabletop, we'll get ready for, I think, one of my favorite yoga poses ever. This is a supported twist. It's also called deer pose. I'm going to show you two variations of it, and you will need to either stack two pillows or use the bolster. And then you're going to use your blocks. So it does look like that same incline that we had for child's pose. So for doing your right side first, you'll bring your right hip up to the base of the bolster and kind of gather your legs around to the side, kind of like I'm doing here. That's option one. And then option two is to sit to the inside of your left heel and shin. And then you'll bend your right knee and bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh bone and knee area. From there, you'll turn to face your bolster sitting up tall. And then you'll begin, just like child's pose, to walk your torso long over the bolster. You want to feel your stomach, your ribs, your chest connect to the bolster. So you're going to twist to the right, let your left cheek rest on the bolster as your arms give it a hug underneath. And then once you're settled, breathing in and breathing out. Starting to notice where you feel held, by your props, where you start to feel sensations of letting go, perhaps across the back, the shoulders. Affirm to yourself that you are giving yourself time and space to unwind, to rest, and receive. Yogi, take a deep breath in and out. To come out, slowly prop your hands on either side of the bolster, bringing your forehead back to center. And walking yourself up for a moment, pausing before you come back to a seat, unwinding the legs, giving them that little knee jog. Maybe turning the toes in and out. And let's do it again. Other side. You do not have to move your props for the sake of the camera. I'm going to switch. So, doing this on the left side, you'll bring the left hip to the base of the bolster. You can, again, gather your legs to your right. It's option 1. Option 2, sit to the inside of the left shin and heel. So that leg is kind of folded in, and then your left knee is bent. Left foot is making a connection to the right inner knee and thigh area. Twist to the left to face your bolster, and then start to walk your torso out. Again, you really want to feel your abdomen, your ribs, your chest really elongating over the bolster. Letting the arms wrap underneath the right cheek, resting down, breathing in, breathing out. Embrace a few moments spent supported by your props, connecting to stillness, and I will call you out when it is time. To come out of the pose, slowly bring your head back to center. Remove the arms from under the bolster. Slowly press up onto the hands. Take a moment to pause before coming back around to a seat. Send the legs out, little shake in the knees. And we'll move to our last pose before Shavasana. Okay, this might actually be my favorite pose. I know I said deer pose is my favorite, but we're doing legs up against the wall, which is amazing. You're gonna need the bolster or one of your pillows, and you could actually also do this with blocks. So, my method for getting up against the wall, you're going to move your pillow or bolster to the side near your wall, and you'll actually start with your hip at the wall first. And then from there, when you turn onto your back, you're going to guide your legs up the wall, press into your feet so you can lift your hips, and then slide your prop underneath the low back and sacrum. And this is very technical now. You're going to scooch your body closer to the wall. You want to feel that your low back is really supported here. The back of your hips is supported. And there's also a little bit of space. If you're using the pillow, there should be a little bit of space between the prop and the wall. I let my knees be bent here. The toes might turn out to the side. That is totally okay. Taking any wiggles, any adjustments so you can fully start to let go. Letting the weight of the torso become heavy. Relaxing the corners of your jaw. Melting through the forehead. Feeling the back of the head heavy. Back of the neck spacious. Starting to completely let your body release into this shape. as you feel ready to stir life back into the body, wiggle your fingers, the toes, bringing a little gentle movement, maybe rolling the head gently from side to side. And as you are ready to come out, slowly guide the knees to your chest, rolling to one side. So you're just rolling off of your prop slowly, guiding yourself to a seat. And it is Shavasana time. You ready? Let's do it. Okay, so you're going to need your bolster, your pillow, and your blanket. So let's take your bolster or your two pillows, and you can set them horizontally on the mat. If you're using two pillows at the base of your mat instead of the bolster, you can just take one on either side. And the other pillow will come to the top of your mat because that's for your head. So you will go ahead and prop your knees over the bolster, or you can take one knee over each pillow. As you make your way down, just make sure that the pillow at the top of the mat is underneath the head, supporting the neck as well. And then let's get warm here. So you can take your blanket, making sure your feet are covered. Socks here. Warm socks could also be really nice. As you can tell, I like socks. And then making sure you are covered with the blanket. Really start to settle in, letting the toes kind of flop out to the sides, the shoulders walking underneath you. Arms can be down by your side as well, palms facing up, allowing the eyes to soften or completely close. Taking a breath in and out. Allowing yourself to abide in this place of stillness, and I will call you out when it is time. It is time to begin your journey back to your waking life. As it feels right for you, begin to deepen your breath. Maybe turning the head from side to side, stirring movement back into the fingers, toes, ankles, and wrist. Let those movements become organically bigger until you take a full body stretch, reaching the fingers and toes away from each other. Take a moment to roll to one side slowly in a supported fetal position. And then taking your time as you press yourself up into a comfortable seat. Feel free to keep the eyes closed here or a soft gaze. And then placing one hand over your heart, other hand resting on top. Taking a final moment here to reflect back upon the journey you have just taken. One final moment to honor the entirety of your experience through this past year. And honoring your intention, the will of the heart that unfolds over time, planting the seed that will guide you through this next year. Taking a breath in and out. As you're ready, guide your hands together in prayer position, drawing the thumbs to third eye center, the seat of your inner knowing. We close our practice with a bow of gratitude. Thank you so much, Yogi, for sharing your practice with me. I know this year has been so freaking hard on all of us. So please continue to be gentle with yourself. I am so incredibly grateful for you for coming to my channel, for practicing with me. It means the world. I will see you on your mat next time.